Hello, this is Mark Holmes, the Senior Editorial Director of Via Satellite, and we're back for another of our Thursday morning conversations. I'm delighted to have with me today Sridhar Kuppanna, who's the Senior Vice President of Engineering at ST Engineering iDirect's, and we're going to talk a lot of technology today. So Sridhar, before we get into that, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Mark. Thanks for having me. Morning.
Well, we're delighted to have you, and I really want to talk about sort of intuition, because that was a big announcement that you made. And how is sort of intuition sort of meeting the digitalization strategies of your customers, and also probably more importantly is how it could evolve still further?
Absolutely. So, if you look at the SATCOM industry, we are at an inflection point where a lot of things are. There's a lot of innovation going on the satellites, and that demands infrastructure on the ground that can leverage the power of the new capabilities that we have on the satellites, especially the software-defined satellites that are going up across multiple orbits. Now, in order to benefit from the capabilities that you have on the satellites, the ground infrastructure needs to be able to adapt, innovate, and deliver capabilities at a much faster pace than what we are used to from the past. And also, the customers are looking to multiple vendors to innovate and deploy capabilities, the best of breed capabilities across these vendors as soon as possible to get the maximum value out of the satellites that they are deploying, right? So Intuition focuses on primarily five main themes in order to facilitate that, right? So clearly we have technology that we have built on, and we have a lot of domain expertise that we are leveraging here to bring the best of breed mobility technology, global bandwidth management, and a lot of other capabilities that we have gained experience in over the past years. But as we move forward here, some of the key things that are going to become extremely important will be virtualization, being able to deliver solutions that not just work with the geo orbit, but also can work across multiple orbits, right? So that is going to be an extremely critical capability. Being able to leverage the latest technology in the AI space to automate, that's going to be another critical capability that the customers are going to need, that we're looking to build in the Intuition platform. So I'm going to stop with those three, and that'll kind of paint the picture as to the kind of innovations that the Intuition is going to bring to the table to help our customers advance quickly, right? Virtualization is going to help with reducing the cost, support faster deployments in a cost-effective way. It's going to allow the networks to scale. The multi-orbit capabilities are going to enable our customers to deploy new applications. Applications may vary in terms of requirements. Maybe you have some low latency applications, high latency applications. Depending on that, the solution that we are offering in Intuition can switch between these orbits to provide the real capabilities to support those applications. And by leveraging AI, we are going to allow these things to be orchestrated automatically and dynamically without manual intervention, to enable these applications to work seamlessly across all of these orbits.
No, there's a lot to unpack there. I want to definitely get to sort of AI very soon, but just to take a step back before we talk a little bit about AI and data analytics. I mean, the digitalization of satellite communications networks. I mean, this is a fascinating topic, and really at the heart of what ST Engineering iDirect is about. What do you see as some of the key challenges, and how can you enable this successful digitization to take place?
So to provide you some context, historically, the SATCOM industry has been leveraging custom hardware and has been leveraging vendor-locked solutions for the most part. And that has something to do with the technology where we were in terms of the technology innovation. The requirements for SATCOM communications are pretty stringent in terms of latency requirements and being able to deal with network connectivity and the physical layer challenges that come with it. And the virtualization technology was not where it needed to be in order to meet those requirements. And hence, we had to build custom hardware capabilities with specific solutions for these customers. And each vendor approached it in a different way, but they had a custom solution to meet those requirements. As we are evolving, as the technology is evolving, and more standard bodies are getting involved in this problem area, what we are finding is that with the new technology, we are able to move towards a more standard-based solution on the virtualization platforms, right? So the same kind of journey was something that we went through for the telco industry, because the cloud infrastructure and virtualization is not something new. It's been there for a long, long time. But certain workloads, when you talk about telco and SATCOM workloads, they are very sensitive to latency, and resiliency is an extremely important feature. Imagine you working on a website and the website goes down. You can always refresh the browser, get back into the website, and continue where you left off. On the other hand, if you're on a 911 call and the call drops, that has serious ramifications. So the requirements for the telco workloads and the SATCOM workloads are very different than what you see in a typical cloud application. So the technology innovations that have happened in the recent past have enabled us to now adopt the virtualization technology for the SATCOM use cases as well, which we could not do in the past. So why are we going to virtualization now? That's the primary reason. And also the public cloud vendors, Azure, Microsoft, Azure, AWS, and other cloud vendors are also working with the telco industry and the SATCOM industry to make sure that the infrastructure has the required capabilities to support the workloads that we need for our applications. So hence, the timing of this one is perfect in terms of building this product to leverage the latest technology, and the industry is ready to adopt these things. And we have the supporting infrastructure providers all coming together at this time to be able to move from bespoke custom solutions, which are vendor locked, to a multi-vendor virtualized cloud-based solutions as we move forward, right? And the customers are also looking for interoperability across all these multiple vendors to compete with new entrants in the market, because we have a lot of new players coming into the market, and the existing customers are trying to figure out various ways that they can compete in this market against these customers. And moving to a multi-vendor solution to drive better innovation, leveraging the latest technologies and the cloud infrastructure, is going to all enable them to do those things now. And we are embarking on the same journey to make sure that the ground infrastructure that we deliver meets those.
Okay, before I was going to ask a question on AI, but I'm going to stick with sort of virtualization for the next question. What do you see as sort of the adoption cycle, and are there sort of specific use cases or applications where virtualization has already been demonstrated?
So specifically, if you go back to, I'll go back to the telco industry. Virtualization has been used for the entire 5G network is built on a virtualized framework right now, right? So that has already been demonstrated on the telco side. Now the SATCOM industry, in terms of applications, they're going to be looking at the first step they'll be looking at is to leverage the management plane infrastructure and the applications to be running in the cloud. And then you go into the hub infrastructure, and then eventually towards the edge infrastructure. So I think that's the path that our customers are going to take most likely in terms of moving towards virtualization. And it's much easier from a workload point of view to take the NMS technology and run it on a public cloud or private cloud infrastructure. And also the hub infrastructure, which is mostly on the packet processing side, is also the technology is there for them to leverage. But once you go towards the edge, where these terminals are sitting on the vessels, on the maritime use case, or on the airplanes for the aero use case, those things will take a lot more time before they can move towards virtualization. So that's the path that I expect the customers to take.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about AI, because I'm fascinated by this, I must admit, and how technologies like AI and data analytics are influencing the transformation of these satellite communication networks. I mean, we talk AI all the time. I think in every conversation it seems to come up. I'm really curious, for a company like ST Engineering iDirect's, which is at the cutting edge of technology in the satellite industry, how, Sridhar, are you using AI to benefit your customer base?
That's a great question, Mark. So in this day and age, there's a lot of hype around AI, but AI is something that's been there for a long, long time. The biggest challenge that we have in this industry is it's not about the AI technology or the algorithms itself. It's all about the data, making sure that we have good data that's clean, in the sense that making sure that we have the right data is more important, because there's a lot of data in the system, but having the right data to train these models and leverage the applications is the biggest challenge that we have had. iDirect is uniquely positioned here because we have been running these networks for a long, long time. So with that, with the experience that we have and amount of information that our networks can gather, we have a lot of data to work with and a lot of intelligence to gain from those. So now, once we have the data problem resolved and we have data governance policies to make sure that we're dealing with the clean data, making sure that we have the governance policies to make sure that there is no personal information being shared and those kind of things. So once we have the data in place, that is going to drive the innovation on top of it to deliver AI applications. So AI algorithms itself are not new, but having the data and making sure that we can leverage the big data frameworks that are already available in the cloud and the virtualized architectures to collect this data in one place and run these models, train them, and being able to deliver the models to the terminals to run the inference models there. That is all possible now, but the primary reason why it has taken us this long is because of lack of data availability that will enable us to build these applications. And also some of the new technologies that you hear about, the large language models and those kind of things, are facilitating the new innovations to come around how the customers can use the AI from a real world point of view, right? So that is one area that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at resource orchestration across these multi-orbit solutions that we talked about. With the intelligence that we have, we know exactly where the terminal is at any given point. We know the weather patterns. We know where the satellites are going to be. So we have a lot of intelligence in our systems around exactly where the satellites are going to be, the terminal's location, the weather patterns, how it's going to influence the connectivity characteristics. And we can make decisions proactively, leveraging AI to learn from these behaviors and proactively implement automated orchestration solutions. So from my point of view, we are going to look at more operational efficiency side use cases, leveraging AI to simplify it for our customers to use our products and run their networks. And then we are going to look at automation is going to be the second area where we help the customers automatically take these actions instead of some individual sitting there looking at monitors and statistics and charts and making decisions and applying policies manually. We can enable them to automate many of those use cases and drive orchestration infrastructure. So two key areas: troubleshooting, improving operational efficiency, and automating the resource orchestration and being proactive about taking actions.
I just want to stick with that because I'm sort of really curious, because as you were sort of developing intuition and you made a big announcement this year, obviously, on that, it was at the same time that sort of AI was really becoming part of the mainstream, not just in terms of satellite communication networks, but now we all know what ChatGPT is, and every interview I feel like I ask at least one AI question now. Did sort of, when you were developing intuition, did these sort of this, even though you said AI is not new, but did the fact that it was becoming more mainstream, did it change the game in any way when you were sort of developing intuition, or did it not change things, as the case may be?
It absolutely did, because I think one thing for us to recognize is that before all the hype comes out into the media, there's a lot of work happening on the technology side as we work with our partners and the chip vendors like NVIDIA and others. We have been working behind the scenes on many of these things. These technologies, specifically around AI applications, don't just appear with work that's done in a year or two, right? If you look at what NVIDIA has been promoting, the entire GPU technology, this has evolved over several years, right? And the AI technology, the CUDA framework, and everything else that they offer, and that's for NVIDIA, but you have similar initiatives from the other chip vendors who are trying to deliver this AI technology as well. You can see that this is something that has been evolving over a period of time, and we have partners that we work with to understand what they are offering, and we have an understanding of where this is kind of leading to. So what we did is to look at our use cases, our problem statement, look at the technology out there, and get ahead of the curve in terms of making sure that, as I said, get the data in-house and prepare the data and keep it ready. Once this technology started becoming available and was more easily accessible for our customers, now we are able to take these use cases, take the data that we have, and build the applications for our customers. So Behind the scenes, a lot of work is going on in terms of leveraging the technology, working with our partners and understanding these capabilities to solve these problems. And by the time it hits the media and you hear about the chat GPT and everything that it can do, just from an engineering point of view, there's a lot of work happening over several years in that area, right? But before we realize the value that comes out of these, and hence we are able to leverage those technologies in our product now.
Okay, I want to talk about another. I want to talk about another hot topic, and when we talk about technologies and satellite networks at the moment, and cloud, and also how you see the virtualization, cloudification impacting the satellite communications industry. Because again, this is a topic that's coming up more and more, specifically for sort of operators and providers. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the operators are looking to make sure that they have a cost-effective solution, right? So if you think about it, if they have to manage a bespoke infrastructure from each of their vendors, that takes training, that takes special care and feeding, and they need a lot of people to manage those networks independently, learn those technologies, and you may not get the same behavior when you switch from vendor A to vendor B. By moving towards virtualization, one of the things that they are going to achieve is the infrastructure is going to be normalized to a standard-based infrastructure, so they can build their entire lifecycle management of the operation framework completely on a standard-based, COTS-based platform, right? The same thing goes with cloud. If you're deploying all the workloads on, let's say, a Microsoft Azure solution, who is one of our partners, Microsoft Azure provides an infrastructure, and if all the vendors are able to deploy the solutions on Azure, it makes the operations for our customers extremely easy, right? So it's going to facilitate moving towards standardization, making sure that we are not dealing with bespoke hardware, and enabling us to interoperate with these different solutions on a common infrastructure. That's going to reduce operation cost. The second thing here is, as new applications are coming up and new technology is going to drive more scaling, more use cases, it's going to require a lot of scaling of the ground infrastructure. Cloud allows us to dynamically scale up and down as needed, right? So it enables us to deploy applications quickly, scale the networks to meet the customer demands and the capacity demands quickly, and hence it's going to help them to deliver services quickly and scale up and down to manage the cost as well. The third thing is around resiliency. When you have a certain data center that goes down, if you have bespoke hardware, it's very hard for them to maintain the resiliency levels and SLAs that they need. In a cloud infrastructure, you have the ability to move the workload from one data center to another data center. You can geographically disperse these workloads and meet the resiliency requirements that our customers demand for these networks, right? And the fourth thing is, most importantly, the velocity with which they can deliver and new capabilities, right? That's also going to increase because cloud enables better lifecycle management to deploy new applications. The new microservices architectures that we can deploy in the cloud enables us to deploy new applications rapidly to meet the customer demands. And we can easily also resolve issues that are occurring in the network. When there is a defect, if the defect has to be resolved in a hardware, it takes a lot of time for us to build the software and deliver it through procurements and deliver the solutions through the standard channels. In case of cloud, you can implement CI/CD pipelines where the solutions can be delivered direct to the customer premise, either to the lab or to the production network, and resolve issues quickly, right? So the mean time to repair is going to go down, hence the quality of the service they offer goes up. Now you have a scalable, robust, secure, right? And you're able to deliver high quality software and applications to your customers. So the standard benefits that you get out of cloud applications across various use cases, now the SATCOM industry can also take advantage of those.
I wanted to get a quick question in about standards. We did an interview with Don Clausen, ST Engineering iDirect's CEO, and he spoke of the importance of standards and collaboration. And that was a big theme of that interview that we actually did. And you know, from your point of view, as you develop these solutions, you develop this technology, how important is industry collaboration and standardization in driving the successful adoption of virtualization and digitalization in SATCOMs?
That's an excellent question and a very important one. As we move forward here towards virtualization, standardization is going to be critical. The telco industry has been leveraging standardization for a long time. You can look at the 5G, 4G, 3G technologies, and it's all based on standards, and every vendor has to adapt to implement to that standard. And that has enabled the telco vendors to deploy solutions from multiple vendors and get the best of the breed solutions deployed in their network at the optimal value. So once you have standardization, it enables the customers to deploy multi-vendor solutions and interoperate between them. So today, if you see with the bespoke solutions that come from each of these vendors, if you have to deploy or incorporate solution from another vendor, you have to practically get rid of your entire infrastructure and investment that you have made with vendor A, and now you have to replace the entire network with vendor B's solution, in which case you may lose out on certain capabilities, and it's a huge undertaking. That is not something that our customers will be tolerant to as we move forward here, and they would like to have the ability to move from vendor A and vendor B seamlessly, manage them using a standard interface, using the same BSS backend infrastructure, and be able to leverage the innovation coming out of each of these vendors to advance their applications and meet the demands of their customers. And in order to do that, they would like to see standardization that's implemented across these vendors so that you have more interoperability. And at the end of the day, our customers are looking to provide seamless connectivity across multiple land, sea, and air, right? In order to achieve that, they also need to interwork with the ground infrastructure to provide seamless connectivity. In order to do that, you need to move towards standardization on the physical layer, all the way up to the networking layer, the management layer, so that they can build their entire infrastructure not to a single vendor solution, but to meet their market demands and customer demands. And the vendors need to adapt to those things to allow better interoperability at the end of the day. We strongly feel like without moving towards standardization and having the ability to move from vendor A to vendor B seamlessly and interoperate between these vendors, our customers are going to be challenged to provide all the use cases and applications to their end customers at the end of the day, because each vendor has their own strengths and weaknesses, and I'm sure that our customers want to leverage the strengths from multiple vendors to ultimately deliver the best of breed solution to their end customers.
Okay, Sridhar, I have one final question for you, and I'm going to ask for a very brief answer to this. So, as we know, in March this year at the Satellite Show, you announced Intuition, which was a big announcement for the company, one that we've talked about a little bit in recent months. In less than 60 seconds, can you tell me why do you think Intuition will be a game changer for the satellite industry?
Okay, so as I mentioned, the Intuition product is going to provide 5 key capabilities: virtualization, standard-based innovation, automation to allow end-to-end orchestration, and it's going to provide flexible go-to-market strategies for our customers to deploy it in an as-a-service model in a private cloud or a public cloud, so it gives them a lot of flexibility. And it's going to be supporting applications that can leverage the best capabilities across multiple orbits. And if you look at all the applications that we are looking to achieve as we move forward here and all the use cases, these 5 capabilities are going to be integral to achieve that outcome. And Intuition is going to be able to deliver that to meet their requirements. And we are going to be able to deliver new applications quickly. And we are going to be nimble in terms of adapting to the new use cases that the customers come up with and deliver solutions quickly. So the architecture is going to enable us to do that. These 5 key tenets are going to help us deliver that solution to the market.
Sridhar, absolutely fascinating. Really enjoyed talking to you. ST Engineering, iDirect's, it's a great company. It's one of the companies that sort of underpins the whole sector in a way, because it produces so much fantastic technology. Wish you and your teams all the best this year with Intuition and other things you're working on. Obviously, it's an exciting time in our industry. We wish you all the best, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much. We are excited to bring Intuition to the market and looking forward to meet our customers' challenges. Thank you very much.